All right. Well, you know what? We're here. We have a flump with us. New and improved many more. Well, and for the figures, well, it's not a rush. I was going through and asking, especially people who are holding on to larger collections. I would prefer to clean the closet out as much as possible for the new year. And so if people are fine coming off of their collections and having me send them in, or send them to them, I would like to do so. I do not need to do so. But this is a very polite cough for those who have figures. Yes, Omega version 2 Supreme. I think I had that at Taco Bell one time. All right, well, you know what? Let's, oh, you know what? Trust a Flump. I don't think you've been here, oh, no, you've partaken in our new system of creating characters. I'll tell you what, Trust a Flump, why don't you kick us off? We're going to make a Soulknife Psionic Rogue. And would you be so kind, if you can from your relaxed state, would you be so kind to roll a D100 in chat with the command ! 1D100? And tell us, are we going to get a female character, a male character, or a multi-class character? Yep, I'm calling on. This is audience participation, Trustaflumph. I need your all's energy and your dice rolls to build these characters. Eight. All right, so we have a female character, and this female character is a Black Wolf. Will you roll a D10 in chat and give us which race she is? Lands on a 2. We have a female dwarf. Raz, will you please roll a D6 in chat? If it's odds, we have a hill dwarf. If it's evens, we have a mountain dwarf. We have, all right, a female hill dwarf. Cold Spark, will you please type ! 1D100 in chat and let us know what alignment our female hill dwarf is going to be. $76. We have a lawful evil. All right. We're going to put this here. We have a female hill dwarf. Dwarves are medium-sized. Alignment, lawful evil. We know that we're creating the character at level 18. And we're making a rogue Soulknife. One word. So we have our level. Now it is time to determine if we are going to be replacing any of our ability score improvements with feats. Who is here that I haven't called on? Kevin. Kevin, will you please roll a percentile in chat? Kevin might not be here. Oh, there he is. All right. 16. Nope. We're going to go all ability score improvements. Very good. And now, let's determine her background. We had a variant human that had a feat last time, Raz. Van. Van, if you're out there, can you please type ! 1D20? No, that's fine, Kevin. Hello, Hypnotic Gamer. Van rolls a 17. She is or was a soldier. And what type of soldier? Hypnotic Gamer, will you roll a D8 in chat to help us determine that? Exclamation point 1D8, and congrats on the chemistry, on passing them through chemistry. Lands on a 2. Soldier number 2. I don't know which one that is, and that's fine. We'll look it up when we get to the detailing section. We have our class, and as for class features, no rogue stuff here, so we can pass this over. What we do need to determine is how old our character is as part of the development. Ivalon... No, Ivalon doesn't like rolling percentiles. Refry, are you still out there? If so, can you please type exclamation point 1D100? That is quite a specific discharge. Yeah, I wasn't a very science boy. I wasn't a sciencey boy myself. What system is this? We're making a character for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. In fact, Nier, is that what you want me to call you? Nier, you can help out with the character creation process. Can you please type exclamation point 1, the number 1, the letter D, the number 100? Hey, Shukan. Do you have some New Year plans going on? Nier rolls a 22, so our character is a young adult. Now, for a hill Dwarf... I passed by the dwarves. There we go. You are helping. So, a young adult hill dwarf. Now, this is the biological age. This is not the cultural or the legal definition of adulthood. She is going to be 11 plus 1d6. Adira Nate, can you please roll 1d6 in chat? Shukan, I didn't. Today, I got 3 hours of sleep. I woke up. I had my car in maintenance. I had my teeth in maintenance. I had a bunch of errands to run. However, Shukan, I have your elder brain behind me, and if I have your permission, I'll open it up and show it off to everyone. It was a routine dental cleaning, Hypnotic. Well, it'll help in saving space, but I just didn't know. I just didn't know if you wanted me to show off your brain on camera here. Devil is here. Just got done watching the Game Awards. All right, I'll open it in a second. I need to finish up a couple prompts here before I lose track of things. Bubonic One, can you? I'll tell you what, Bubonic One. roll 4d6 in chat. The first 6 is going to be the addition to her age. The other 3 is going to be her ideal, bond, and flaw. Mindy Morgs, right? 2, 3, 2, and 1. So she is 13. We are assembling the X-Men because Marizy, our psychic warrior, is a child prodigy at 8. And I'll remember all her fantasies are coming alive as she's fleeing from this secret her family held. And this is going to give us a 3, 2, 1. Ideal, bond, and flaw. Very good. Hey, Daily, welcome. All right, now for her height modifier. To keep things moving along here real quick, I'm going to roll 2d4. We're adding 3 inches to her base height of 3'8". You know, she is a young lass, and so she's going to be coming in at 3'11". 3'11". I mean, kobolds will still look up to her. We're going to take this 3, and because we are dealing with a young adult, instead of the 2d6, I'm going to say it's a 1d6. And I'm going to roll 1d6. 3 times 4 is 12, so we add that to her base weight of 115. She's 127 pounds. Excellent. How many kobolds do I have? I don't know if I have any in the orphanage, Shukan. However, there is a new prepackaged set that's coming out in January, maybe? I'd have to double check. But it has 3 kobolds per pack in it, guaranteed. She is stocky, yes. Now I can use, Shukan, can you roll 1d8 in chat to give us a personality trait? Well, Shukan, if you need that many, I'm willing to work with you on seeing what I can acquire. Lands on a 7, so our first personality trait is going to be number 7. And now we need one more personality trait. And, Daily, will you please roll a d8 in chat and give us our second personality trait? Lands on a 3. There we go. Excellent. So we have a lot of placeholders. It is now time to read the bones that have been cast into the augury dish. What does it mean? What does soldier number 2 mean, especially for such a young girl? Right? That this young adult, up and coming in her clan or whatever the organization is for her dwarves. And are we looking at kind of a Project X? Is something going on that's stirring people's minds to manifest? Well, we are going to be building the Soulknife Rogue. But before we get to this, the Soulknife itself, we are going to build our character. For she is not just a dwarf, not just a rogue, nor just a Soulknife. She has seen things, she has done things, she has experienced things. Raz tells Shukan just use 5 rolls of pennies. Abraham Lincoln looks like a kobold. Well, we threw our chicken bones into the augury dish, Bubonic. Shukan says, how dare you, sir? How dare you? We're going to go to Soldier, which is in the S section because, well, it's alphabetical. Sailor and Soldier. Soldiers have proficiency in athletics and intimidation. They're going to have a tool proficiency in one kind of gaming set, and also vehicles, comma, or vehicles, parentheses, land. Now, what is her specialty? Her specialty, we rolled, was number 2. She is a scout.
Ich hätte gerne eine Kapsel, Zufälligkeit.
1 capsule for Shukan. Whoop, I wrote soldier. Scout. There we go. She was a scout of some kind. An infiltrator. Someone who observes. Someone who can maneuver through a culture, perhaps. Or out in the wilds. Well, Shukan, I have a way I might be able to get you a lot of kobolds, so we'll work together on this, brother. Ich hat gern ein Kapsel Zufalligkeit. I did not pronounce that last one correctly. Something 1 capsule. I'm going to lay down, but I'm listening. I'm tired and such. All right, Black Wolf. I would like 1 capsule of, randomness. I will pull that capsule for you here in just a little bit here, Shukan. Our feature is military rank. And military rank is, well, where we are recognized. We can obtain vehicles, supplies, uniforms, information. It's very handy. And you know, in some campaigns, it might be even more than a little handy if it's a wartime campaign or something along those lines. And even if it's not, you know, the military might be in disarray, and yet there are still people who, you know, they know the handshake, right? Oh, you're one of us? Sure, yeah, come on. So it's still useful in a lot of different ways, but especially if you are going to be in the midst of a war. Ooh, very good. Oh, you got into a yelling match. Oh, Bubonic, I hope you didn't get, I hope it wasn't a bad one. Now, who is she? Let's discover her personality. Her first personality trait is number 7. I have a crude sense of humor. And you know what? This matches, in a way, our entertainer here, Marizy. Marizy loves a good insult, even one directed at her. So I wonder if there's, you know, if you're manifesting these psionic powers, as we're seeing, it's getting you to think about things differently. You know, the whole, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. Or, you know what? Their minds have, they're Doogie Housers, right? Their minds have been accelerated forward, and they can comprehend adult topics, even though their body is still trying to catch up. Shukan had a TPK with a single rat. Ooh, that's a story. Her second personality trait is number 3. I've lost too many friends, and I'm slow to make new ones. Now, she is a scout in the military. You know, we might be presuming that this is standard issue military scouting or or something that's not, you know, like Weapon X in Marvel tone. What if the friends she lost weren't on a battlefield? They could be. What if the friends she lost were other people who went to Lake Laogai and, oh, I'm sorry, that's not the other friends who went through this selection process, this training process, or people she grew up with that are a product of a special breeding process. Maybe there's a clan of dwarves that is, you know, being like Pokemon trainers almost. You know, they're tweaking people's, you know, bloodlines to try and get an interesting result. And it seems as if our young lass here has survived the process. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the flashback. It's not much of a story. We all rolled super poorly. That's a story in itself, though, Shukan. And thank you for sharing it. So we can see how many things are possible. Yeah, she might be the product of some tinkering, Van. She may not know it, or maybe she does, but she's just created this blocking mechanism. All right, her ideal for the world is number 3. Yeah, Trust of Lump, didn't you say there was a D&D time you ran sometime where it was a total party kill and they were trying to just get an old lady across the street? Oh, Sheeps is here. Oh, Sheeps, you missed out on a hell of an ASMR session last night. Specifically, a specifically shouted out ASMR session. And Diadems is here too. My goodness. Her ideal is number 3. Independence. When people follow orders blindly, they embrace a kind of tyranny. This is where someone can say, hold on, you have a lawful evil character by alignment. How dare you, sir, give her independence as an ideal? And it clearly says chaotic after it. It has to go into a chaotic character. No. Stop it. Your ideal can complement your alignment, the way you express yourself. It could be at odds. The way you act may not be how you want the world to be. Maybe you're striving for your ideal, but in the current context of you living, you can't do it the way that you want. Or, depending on your outlook, you gotta break a cup, or, you know, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Now, something happened to her that she manifested these psychic powers. She's looking for independence. You know, I'm not saying she's all bub snicked bugs, bub snicked bub. Though that, you know, that mentality can absolutely be a seed inside of someone who wants to see this in the world, and yet she expresses herself methodically, lawfully. She expresses, you know, she does things for the greater country, but she does them her own way. She's selfish about it. This could even be why they ended up making her a scout. Wasn't that she was necessarily good at scouting per se, or maybe she was, and or they just wanted to give her something else to do, some responsibility. She could have, you know, she's willing to come back if you give her freedom, because she does have this independence. She has her own methodology, and if you're testing, you know, special weapons, you want to see how they act in different environments. Her bond is number 2. Someone saved my life on the battlefield. To this day, I will never leave a friend behind. Someone saved my life on the battlefield. To this day, I will never leave a friend behind. Do you know what's interesting? I don't know, I'm just asking. If she plays into the other psionic characters, I owe a debt I can never repay to the person who took pity on me. And we have our all but princess, our Anastasia style character here. She comes from a line of people who have a scandal. The scandal could be the tinkering around with people's minds, creating this psionic progeny that now all three of our characters, well, 2.5, we're still manifesting the one. What if all three characters so far owe their psionics to whoever this character is? As a dungeon master, do you see the power of having your players give you a character sheet? Trust a flump, Cold Spark. I know I need to create the game. This is me just having some fun, though. When you read the character sheets, you can get so much inspiration and world building from them. They do a ton of work for you. It's brilliant. Anyway, what is her flaw? Her flaw is number 1. The monstrous enemy we faced in battle still leaves me quivering with fear. This is where we sit down and talk to the player. What was the enemy? And if this enemy comes up, will the player invoke that flaw and get a Quiverin? You know, in a sense, Trust a Flump, you did when we were going through the DM workshop for the Fox in a Box. Welcome, Pouty Lips. Now that we've built who she is, we have ideas for prompts. We have ideas for how she makes decisions. What kind of a life has she lived? What makes sense? How can we organically grow this character from the random elements that we planted before? Now that we have her background, the character's character, let's find out who she is by virtue of being a hill dwarf. Now, all dwarves have a constitution bump of 2. They have a speed of 25 feet, giving us a 12 climb, 12 swim, 0 fly. They do get 60 feet of dark vision. They get dwarven resilience, so we have resistance against poison damage, as well as advantages versus being poisoned. We also have, not just, well, kind of, Cromdrade. There could be a common thread that has awakened the psionics in all 3 of the characters that would be in a party together. Okay, Pouty Lips, thank you. We are going to have rogue weapon proficiencies as well then as dwarven proficiencies. So we're going to have proficiency with the battle axe, hand axe, throwing hammer, and warhammer. For the sake of what we're doing, I'm going to put dwarven weapons and rogue weapons because they're both a curated list. We get a tool proficiency. You gain proficiency with the artisan's tools of your choice. Did she grow up with smith's tools, brewer supplies, mason's tools? If this is your character, do you go to your dungeon master and say, I don't think she, if she was grown in a vat, or if she was just a normal girl given powers, I don't know if she would have a proficiency Pardon me. Sorry. I don't know if she'd have a proficiency in in any of these three things. Instead, what if she had a proficiency in herbalism kits? What if she had a proficiency in something else? Yes, diadems, you caught me. Alchemy? That if that's the story or that's something we want to go with, for sure then. You know, because the tool proficiency, your dwarf character in many cases is not going to be broken if you take another type of tool in a slot that is offering a tool proficiency on the race. So sure, Shukai, what we're gonna do, we'll give her proficiency with alchemy, as per being a very special dwarf. She is also going to get stone cunning, so she can identify stone structures and whatnot. And then she is going to also receive common and dwarven as languages. And now for being a hill dwarf specifically, our wisdom score increases by 1. And we have dwarven toughness. Your hit point maximum increases by 1 and increases by 1 every time you gain a level. Ta-da! We have a dwarf. But is that as compelling? You know, we couldn't make these decisions, at least not as easily or, again, as organically. I know some of you are just dreading organic chemistry. I know it has to deal with carbon. I'm presuming dwarves are carbon-based. If not, then, I don't know. Trust a Flump, are dwarves carbon-based in D&D time? But we can make these decisions easier because we already know who she is. We know the things that she's been through in life. We've already considered what we would like to interpret from the random elements. Now we're going to build 18 levels of rogue. Just straight up rogue. No subclass. That's all we're looking at, are 18 levels of rogue. Rogues are a D8 hit die class, and we're going to get 18 of them. And that represents a natural pool of healing we can use when we take rests. We are going to have proficiency in light armor. As for weapons, well, we already put rogue weapons as a placeholder, and the dwarven weapons as well. Though just because she's proficient doesn't necessarily mean she can sneak attack with a warhammer. Tools, thieves' tools. Trustaflump says dwarves are inorganic sulfur-based life forms, hence the smell. Well, I didn't. Did I smell sulfur when we went to Awe? Or no, we went to Ag. My bee Therian went to Ag the last adventure. Did I smell sulfur? Are you giving me a heckin' jape, Trustaflump? Our saving throw proficiencies are going to be dexterity and intelligence. Oh, okay. Well, wait, does that mean... So is there blood I did feel. I remember too, Cold Spark. It was. I thought it was brilliant being a werebee with a weakness to silver, looking for silver veins by going by touching the wall until I felt a sting, especially being a bee. So if they're breathing or they have a metabolic system, if silver's in their blood instead of red blood, like rust colored because that's iron oxidizing, would they have what kind of a grayish blue because their silver blood is oxidizing to carry oxygen? Do they even need oxygen? Are they somehow getting like nitrogen out of the air? Although I don't think silver reacts to nitrogen. Trust a flump. Who knows? How dare you, sir? How dare you? Well, I would expect dwarves would be the first ones to have nitrogen-infused beer. Beer-based life form. Well, all right. So I think we all can understand that a lot of dwarves are actually beer-based life forms. Yeah, nitro and beer, it makes them very smooth and creamy. You can't escape it. Hypnotic? You can't escape it. Hypnotic, we're taking this conversation to a whole new valence. Y'all are a bunch of nerds, by the way, and that's why I love you in chat. All right. We get to choose 4 skills from a list here. Let's find out who she is again. Let's remind ourselves and choose our skills based on this. Dwarves are 90 proof, says Raz. Choose 4 from acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth. Whew. Now, first and foremost, if she's a product of the military by training or just by development, if she was grown in a tube, she's sent to scout. I would wager perception's important for her job. She's slow to make new friends. She believes in people's independence. Someone saved my life on the battlefield, and to this day, I will never leave a friend behind. That would mean to me, perhaps, well, we already have athletics from being a soldier. That way we can carry someone on our shoulder, or drag them if necessary. I know it's kind of based off strength score, but, if we need to do something athletic to help out there. I could say medicine, and you can make that argument. Well, can I add medicine to my list? To your dungeon master, and your DM might say, yeah, sure. And heck, if you're playing with the class variant Unearthed Arcana, I mean, you'll get into medicine anyway. The monstrous enemy we face on the battle still leaves me quivering with fear. So we're hiding, right? We're a scout. We're also gonna take stealth. We have perception. We have stealth. We should get. If we need to figure things out, I think investigation is going to be a big one. And a lot of scouts may also need to... you're not a spy, so I wouldn't say deception per se. But I think insight to try and read into people that you're observing. Or especially those you're observing because maybe you want to free them. Or if you have a crude sense of humor, you can judge your humor. When is it actually appropriate to say an inappropriate thing? Trustaflum says, or we could move on to physical chemistry. What really is the probability of dwarves existing in... Oh, just so that this is just, you know, in whatever, in any state. Deception for when caught. Is she as a scout? I mean, she's independent. She doesn't really seem to take orders from others. It's not a bad idea. And look, hey, I'm open-minded. If we want to go for deception, Crumdraw, which skill would you want to switch over? Machi, hello. Good morning. Well, not. It's good morning if you're forward in Iceland. Good evening to you. You're going into lurk mode for a bit or the rest of the night, depending. Trustaflump, it was awesome to have you here. Thank you so much for hanging out and having fun in chat. Physical chemistry is quantum physics. Oh, okay. You're back in Vegas. All right, so good evening to you, Machi. Starting equipment, I'm not worried about starting equipment. We're level 18. We probably don't have our starting dagger, or if we do, it's either been heavily modified or it's a just-in-case backup. We are going to get expertise. Expertise can be taken in any skill in which we have proficiency. Deception over insight? Sure, we'll change it. I have no problem with that. Boop. We can take any skill in which we're proficient, or we could take Thieves' Tools. Now, as a scout, she probably does have to go ahead and look for traps or even lay traps herself. And I don't know, I'm thinking maybe 3 skills and Thieves' Tools would be her loadout. Remember, we're making her at level 18. The 3 skills that she would have expertise in would most likely be stealth, perception, and you know, athletics would really help her out climbing trees and doing things like that. We're not to her psi abilities just yet, Crumdrade. But as she's independent, she wants to walk around, climb where she pleases. She never leaves someone behind, meaning she might need to carry people or even to carry people while swimming or climbing. I don't know. Would athletics make sense? Crumdrade seems to agree with athletics. Driz, welcome back. Going for a high AC tank with low magic items build. Was thinking Barbarian for Rage and Danger Sense, then Trickster, Rogue for Uncanny Dodge and Mage Armor. So let's say I have a 20 Dex Con. That would be 20 AC, then +3 for Mage Armor. And 2 for Shield for 25. Then my friend would cast Shield of Faith on me for +2 more. So it'd be 27 total. Dodge for half damage and resistance to have that. See anything wrong with this? I don't know if some of those abilities can stack offhand, Driz. Oh, Bubonic, have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hey, Stella, welcome. We're also going to get Sneak Attack, and by level 18, we have a +6 to our proficiency bonus. We're also going to pick up Thieves' Cant. We're going to learn Cunning Action. You know, and if you want to read these, you can read them on the PDF here, or if you have a book, or if you have access to this through a system resource document or something, read along at home. I don't want to detail everything because this is common rogue stuff. This is what all rogues get, and there's just no need to spend time reading out every little old thing when I want to focus on the new things here coming up. And Driz, I'm sorry, I don't have a mind for Karop, so I can't tell you offhand. These are just abilities that I never, or like mechanics I never thought to stack, or a character to play and use it. I mean, if we want to take character concept, someone's history, someone's motivation to do something, that is absolutely my strong point. But if we're talking just playing a math game with dice, then I am not very good at that with D&D. Uncanny dodge. Evasion. We're also going to be getting reliable talent, which is awesome for our skills. We're going to be getting blind sense at 14th level. Slippery mind, which is going to give us proficiency in wisdom at level 15. And then at level 18, we are elusive. Critical rolls on break. Well, welcome, Hark. All right, so here we have our rogue build, okay? We have our 3 skills, stealth, athletics, and perception for expertise, and then our thieves tools. It's now time to get into more detail about what is a soul knife. A soul knife possesses powerful psionic potential. They channel this reservoir of inner magic into tangible blades of psychic energy, striking at their victims' minds. They find easy employment as members of thieves' guilds, being particularly sought after as assassins, since their signature psychic blades leave behind no visible wounds. As a soul knife, your psionic abilities might have haunted you since you were a child. We still are with this character, only revealing their potential when your psychic knives first appeared. Or you might have sought out a reclusive order of psionic assassins and spent years learning how to manifest your deadly blades. We are going to get a psychic blade. As a bonus action, you can create a magical blade of shimmering psychic power from one or both of your hands. While one of your hands is manifesting a blade, you can't hold anything in that hand. You can dismiss one or both blades at any time, no action required, and they disappear if you're incapacitated. The blade is a simple melee weapon with the finesse, light, and thrown properties. It has a normal range of 30 feet and a long range of 60 feet, and it deals 1d6 psychic damage on a hit. If you throw the blade as a part of an attack, it vanishes immediately after it hits or misses its target. The blade otherwise disappears the instant it leaves your hand. There's our psychic blade. Yeah, like Psylocke, Crumdrade. We're talking about X-Men. We're talking about Weapon X and such. Exactly. What about a ring? Stella, I don't see why it would have to just be daggers, especially because it's a thrown weapon. Stella, if you want your if you want your soul knife to have like chakrams, or you could probably reflavor it as darts or whatever, throwing stars, shuriken. Have fun with it. I mean, it's a D6. If we're talking pure mechanics to mechanics, that's a short sword. Psionic enhancement. You can focus your psionic power to give yourself an extraordinary ability. When you finish a long rest, you gain one of the following benefits of your choice, which lasts until you finish a long rest. You can communicate telepathically with any creature you can see within 30 feet of you. If a creature can speak at least one language, it can respond to you telepathically. Increase your walking speed by 5 feet. Your hit point maximum and your current hit points increase by an amount equal to your intelligence modifier plus your rogue level. Ooh. You can focus your psionic power to give yourself an extraordinary ability. So this is every long rest, we would get to choose one of these to augment ourselves. You know, we want to be faster. We want to be stronger. We want to be able to speak to whomever. All of these are very good abilities for a scout to have. This is very, very well done for the randomness that we are, you know, applying to the subclass. Yeah, the speed could come in handy. Bring her up to a 30. However, the hit point maximum, she's already a tough girl. She might. What if she gets tougher? And then she takes toughness. Ooh. Talk about having a tanky rogue. Now I'm going to list Psionic Enhancement. I'm not going, because I don't know which one she's in at this moment where we're finding her. So I'm going to say that we have it, and but we need to apply whatever it is that she has. Next up is a Terrifying Blade. Your psychic blades can now stoke terror within a target. When you damage a creature with your psychic blade, you can force the target to make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is frightened of you until the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the creature isn't frightened and is immune to your terrifying blade for 24 hours. You know, so frightened. This is just frightened on a stick. Not bad. There are a lot of creatures that are immune to it. A lot of creatures that aren't. So it'll be very hot or cold, I think, in how you can use this. And don't forget, you can split up your attacks. You know, you want to go and go that route. As long as it qualifies for Terrifying Blade, you can start spreading fear around the battlefield. Next up, we get a Psychic Veil. You can weave a veil of psionic static to mask your physical presence. As an action, you can magically become invisible along with anything you're wearing or carrying for 10 minutes. This invisibility ends if you make an attack or if you force a creature to make a saving throw. Really good for a scout, right? You can use this feature a number of times. You go to your intelligence modifier minimum once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So this is a bit of invisibility on a stick. Certainly setting up for more sneak attack strikes as well. Psychic Veil int per long rest. And lastly, we get Rend Mind. You can sweep your psychic blade directly through a creature's mind. As an action, while you have at least one psychic blade manifested, you can force a creature you can see within 30 feet of you to make an intelligence saving throw. If you are hidden from the target, it has disadvantage on the save. On a failed save, the target takes 12d6 psychic damage and is stunned until the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and isn't stunned. One of your psychic blades vanishes after using this feature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, regained on a long rest. Rend Mind, int per long rest. Big hits. What about the Artificer, Shukon? It doesn't specify what the bonus is. What do you mean, Stella? All right, we now have the... Dun, da, da, da. Here's the list of mechanics and the things that our character can do. As we're going over her as a rogue, as we're going over her as a Soulknife, were you getting an idea of what she does, especially as this scout? Again, whether she was manufactured or born and developed this or something happened. Do you see her using these powers? What does she want to accomplish with them? Her expression is that of lawful evil. She is methodical and she's selfish. Broadly. Were images coming to mind of, popping out of the brush and taking down someone? Is this something that she just woke up in, in whatever the laboratory, maybe it was even abandoned, and she couldn't get out until she had this panic moment, and then she manifested her soul knife and busted out that way? Says you get a bonus, but not what that bonus is. Are you talking about a soul knife, Stella, or is this something about that Shukon's talking about? Rend Mind. Oh, the proficiency bonus? The proficiency bonus is a +6. That is tied to our character level. Now let's give her some ability scores. I think that she is physical. Well, I don't know if she's super strong. Well, maybe she is. She is a dwarf, and she has been taught how to swing a hammer here. So what if we do this? What if we go 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8 in Constitution. This would bring her Constitution to a 10. This would bring her Wisdom to an 11. Now, rogues are kind of like fighters in that they get a bonus ability score improvement. Normally, it's 4, 8, 12, 16, and then they give you one at 19 because 20 is sort of the end. So we're normally getting 4. However, you may notice that at level 10, rogues also get an ability score improvement. So we are going to be having 4, 8, 10, 12, 16. We get 10 dots that we can put into this character. All right, do what you got to do, Hypnotic. Let's bring Wisdom up by 1. Let's bring Intelligence up by 1. Let's bring Dexterity up by 3. This is leaving us with 5. I think we should bring our Intelligence up by another 2. Well, she has a particular charisma about her, not just because she has deception and intimidation, but as a scout, especially as someone who has a sense of humor, and someone who actually shows that she cares. She is social. She does interact with people. We've had those characters, Kevin. You think con up? Remember, she is going to get one more stat bump at level 19 at her next level. You know what? We'll put it in con. She has to spend time out in the wilds. She needs to survive. She doesn't have survival training per se, but I think she can, take a couple hits and keep rolling. And especially being a hill dwarf, ooh, we're going to see some stacking. Now, we are left with 1 point floating. Grrr! That's not going to get us a modifier, but we can still get a mechanical benefit if our strength score goes up by 1, because that's just that much more she can push, pull, drag, lift, etc. This is going to give her a strength bonus of 2, dex 4, con 1, int 3, wisdom 1, charisma 1. Now her strength saving throw is a 2. Her athletics is going to be a 14. Why a 14? If we zoom in, you see this secondary circle that was filled in that shows that she has expertise, which is twice your proficiency bonus. Her dexterity saving throw is going to be a 10. Stealth is going to be a 16. And then sleight of hand and acrobatics are 4 apiece. Constitution saving throw is 1. 3 for intelligence, except our proficiencies, which are going to be 9. Wisdom saving throw is going to be a 7. Perception is going to be a, 12 plus 1 is 13. And everything else is going to be 7s. No, I'm sorry. 7 was the proficiency. It's going to be 1s. 1. I'm sleepy. Charisma saving throw is a 1. Performance 1. Persuasion 1. And our intimidation and deception are going to be 7s. Don't forget that she has reliable talent also. That's going to really help her out. Her passive perception is a 23. We add 10 to her perception modifier, and that represents her natural awareness, the things that she doesn't have to pay attention to, but she's still paying attention to you. The things that you say, the things that you do. It's all part of being a scout. Maybe even a silent scout. We have a good stealth. Mr. Plunderloot, welcome. Her armor class, I don't know what her armor class is going to be, honestly. She's level 18. She probably doesn't have her starting leather armor anymore, or if she does, it's heavily enchanted, or it's a, I don't know, last-minute backup. Initiative, however, is a dexterity check, and so, boop, there we go. There's a +4. Yeah, Observant would boost that by 5. You're correct, Shukan. Hit points. Ooh, something juicy, and hey, we have a cat on stream now. Her hit points at level 1 are going to equal her maximum amount in her hit die. So it's a D8, so she gets 8 hit points. For her remaining 17 levels of her 18, she gets half +1, unless the DM says otherwise. For all of her levels, for all 18 of her levels, she gets a hit point bonus equal to her Constitution modifier. As well, for all 18 of her levels, for being a hill dwarf, she gets extra hit points. So 18 and 18 is going to end up being 36. And then we have an 85. $93, $99, 129 hit points as this rogue at level 18. And how does that compare to the fighters? We have a fighter with 148 and a fighter with 112. She's right in the middle there. This is also why I'm treating all the characters at the same level, too. Marlboro Man coming in here with a cat shrug, and we also have some more cat butt. If she's attacking with a strength-based weapon, it's going to be, she's proficient in, it'll be 2 + 6. It's going to be a +8 to hit. Dex, however, is going to be at a... Oops. A 10. She doesn't know any cantrips. She's getting... They're not called magic, and that's something to keep in mind. The psionic stuff presumably can work in anti-magic fields, because it doesn't say that they're spells, and it doesn't say that it's magical. At least not that I caught or remember. She does not get any spell slots. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am. Go. Stella, rogues are D8s in 5th edition. But here we go. We have a character. If we want, by the way, if this is her psionics, because it's not a spell, but if someone wants to make a save versus that, that's going to end up being intelligence plus proficiency, which is 9, plus 8, which is 17. And she's earned herself a name. She's no longer a pile of stats. Last little bit here. The int per long rest for Psychic Veil and Rend Mind is going to be 3. And there is one thing that I did not add, and that was a trophy taken from the battlefield. Presumably off of a dead enemy. This could have been something that the person who saved her gave her as a memorial. This is another bonding coincidence between her and the two psychic warriors. Stella, will you please type exclamation point 1D100 and give us the trinket that we were given by someone during war or during a battle, or even just one we found. Maybe we went to an old battlefield and we rummaged through. And maybe since that day that we found the artifact, even as a simple girl, it unlocked our minds. Or who knows. Stops on 50. Okay. And so the trinket that she has is... Here we go. I passed it. A whistle made from gold-colored wood. Trinket number 50. A whistle made from gold-colored wood. Now, is it magical? Maybe. Doesn't have to be. Is it a whistle that you could use to try and scare someone or even offer your location? Works well with a scout. Gold. Something, maybe something about nobility. You know, maybe it's a rare wood species. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's excruciatingly common. And this is honestly just something that all recruits from the, from the boot camp training get. But it's very inspirational, and she can absolutely use that trinket in her job. Shukan is offering a name for our character here. Grougnuwynn Orebrow. Ma'am, come on. I want to try and spell this correctly. W-Y-N-N. Orebrow. What do the Orebrows do in the clans? What makes them Orebrows? Oh, maybe you can't hear the whistle, but animals can. Oh, I like that, Stella. Good take. I read it as Grougnuwynn. Okay. Grougnuwynn. Pet. Meow, she says. All right. So we have someone who seems to be trying to target children when their minds are young. Probably more understanding that the world can be flexible. Maybe their hopes and dreams haven't been pulled down like many adults have, which is also why Uncle is so dangerous, because he has grown up, but the circumstances in which he grew were such that he didn't lose his powers. They only continued to serve him. All right. So what I'm going to do, everyone, I'm going to get up. Actually, before I get up and leave, I owe Shukan a capsule. And then when we come back, I'll show off Shukan's big brain.